And Paul writes to him and says, now it's interesting, he doesn't write to Archippus directly, he writes to the church and says, well, tell Archippus that see that you fulfill the ministry that you have received in the Lord. Why is Paul writing this? We don't know why he's giving this instruction. Some have come here and say, well, maybe Archippus was growing apathetic or disinterested in ministry, was discouraged and even contemplating quitting. So Paul is writing to him, say, don't quit, make sure you fulfill your ministry. It could be that. We don't know. But I believe Paul is just writing to encourage him. Paul likes to write this. He has, when you read his epistle to his son in the faith, Timothy, he tells him, do the work of an evangelist, preach the gospel in season and out of season. So it's typical of Paul, and I believe he's just encouraging Archippus to say, well, Archippus, you have ministry that has been entrusted to you in the Lord. Make sure you fulfill it. Be faithful and do the work of your ministry. For sure, ministry can be hard at times. For sure, people in ministry can sometimes wonder if the Lord really called them. And sometimes they can think, am I really at the right place? Is this what really God called me to do? Should I quit or not? People in ministry can wrestle with that. But Paul says, but do not quit. Keep on pressing. Fulfill your ministry. Remain faithful. Now, as I've already said, it's interesting that Paul writes to Archippus indirectly. He tells, well, you, the church at Colossae, tell Archippus that he should fulfill his ministry. Why not just write to him directly? I believe Paul wants to say the same thing to the congregation. Say same thing to the congregation. There's no way this congregation will go to Archippus and say, well, Paul says you should fulfill your ministry, but not us. Just fulfill your ministry. It's none of our business. Most likely, the congregation will go to tell Archippus to say, well, brother, Paul says fulfill your ministry. They're also going to search their hearts if they are fulfilling their ministry. So really what Paul is trying to do here, telling Archippus, but also telling the congregation, you have a ministry, you have a calling. Just as Archippus has to fulfill his ministry, you also as a congregation has to fulfill your ministry. As we have seen in the previous chapters in this book, every Christian has a God-given calling. It's not only pastors that have a calling from God. Every lawful profession is a calling from God. So just as pastors have to fulfill their ministry, every Christian has to fulfill their calling. Do your work faithfully, whatever it is. The Lord expects you to fulfill your calling, whatever it is. You need to love it. You need to be faithful in your work. If you have been asked to do work, don't do it with half measures. Do it fully, to the maximum, to the best of your ability. Give yourself wholly into your work. Do not just work because you get a salary at the end, a compensation at the end. No, work because the Lord has called you and God is telling you you have to fulfill your ministry, just like Archippus has to fulfill his ministry. So fulfill your ministry. No matter there are challenges, no matter there is opposition, God is faithful. He will carry you through. So fulfill your ministry.